Alright, partner. So, I'm here. This has been this moment. It's been years in the making, but we finally have it. Well, just a teaser, that is, a little cock tease. Um, After conflict. So, let's fire it up. I will admit, I will confess, not only did I fire this up and play this earlier, I actually recorded a video earlier. But I had so many problems with the game crashed a few times, and I'm not very good at OBS, so there's too many frames being cut out and whatnot. So I axed it. I've actually uploaded the video, but then I've decided I'm going to remake it all. So let's try that again. Take note. There's a Soviet soldier, presumably, and a US soldier. Okay, just take note of that. So we're gonna have a look at the. Well, I'll show you the graphics first. So here's all the settings. It was actually slammed up to 10, and motion blur was enabled, but I've turned motion blur off. I don't really like it in games, so I've turned that off. Hope you don't mind. I guess I'll leave depth of field on. Don't hate me if you don't like having it on, but that's what I'm doing. So I've got a Soviet soldier here. We've got the KS-23. We've got a lot of AKs. In fact, they're all AKs barring the KS-23 and the SVD. But we're going to do the KS-23 because I like my shotguns, but honestly, Rising Storm series, especially Rising Storm Vietnam, has ruined shotguns for me. They're just too powerful in that game, too long a range. So I'll show you what the shotgun in After Conflict is like. Because maybe like me, maybe you got spoiled. You know, that game has probably ruined shotguns for you in pretty much every other game. So as you can see, looking at your equipment, you get 2 equipment slots. So you can have some grenades. There's a good selection here from the get-go. There's a medic pack, which I haven't had a look at. This was all discussed in their various posts on Steam and on their website. And even one of the developers was advertising posting on 4chan's weapons board. That's how I learned about the game. He was posting on there about stuff as well, but that was years ago now. But yeah, I'll show you the RPG-22. You probably want to see that. I've also got some binoculars here, but I tell you what, we'll try the RGO, I guess. So I guess you can choose your melee weapons, but for now there's just the 6x4 bayonet. I'm guessing that's one of the later bayonets for the AK-47 series. I think there were a few different iterations of the AK-47 platform bayonets over the years. So anyway, that's that. So we'll have a look at the shooting range, which should be familiar to you if you've been sort of following. Well, not really following because it's been so sporadic. Let's say you've been occasionally reminded of this game's existence. So here we are. This should look extremely familiar to you all. So here's the KS-23. I'll show you. So here it is. First off, you have to load. Every time you spawn, it seems like you have to load. No only do you have to load, you have to cock it as well. And it goes for every weapon. And there you go. And it does that automatically. So you get a different sound there when you hit the concrete. There you go. Famously, this gun uses a very large shotgun shell. I'm not sure how big it is actually. So large, in fact, you can only carry 3 in its magazine. So here we are. Let's see if it can match the range of the shotguns in Rising Storm Vietnam. 3, 2, 1-ish. Go. Look at that. And wow. Goodness. So it's like double bang for your buck, as the American saying goes. Yeah, look at that. So you can reach out to that range, but you can't really hit anything, it seems like. And I can't hit anything at that range, but I promise you I have been able to. I seem to not be able to hit anything. Well, yeah, okay, well that's that. So more or less the same. I will say that that railing needs to come down by quite a few inches, because it's too tall. I mean, that's me standing, this is me squatting, and if I wanted to get a more aimed proper shot, I wouldn't be able to, because I tried and the railing is just in the way. So there's this building here, which is just a building. All the rooms are like this, not very realistic, let's be honest. If you're wanting to place a building, I thought you'd probably want to make it a bit more bigger than that. So there's some kind of classroom area here. There's two. There's one over there as well. So yeah, got some original literature on the walls there. So that's very cool. Yeah. It's a shame the writing is too small, and it's not like a translation into English. That would be a very neat idea, but maybe that's a bit too detail orientated. Maybe that'll come later. So let's have a look at the vehicles. So let's go over there now. Okay, here we are, but there's no vehicles. There's no vehicles. Where are the vehicles? Well, the vehicles are not here. They're not in the game, at least not in the shooting range. I thought this was it, just a shooting range, but there's a bit more over here. There's actually even more we'll come into in a moment, but I want to show you this first, so we can try out our RPG-22. Where is it? Which button is it? Which button is it? I'm pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's not doing anything. So which button is it? One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. And I can't seem to switch my weapons. Okay, that's new. I don't know why I can't switch to my other weapons. That's strange. But anyway, I have a Makarov, you probably saw, and the RPG-22 had an interesting animation when you undid the sights and took the protective cover off the front. That was quite neat. and it fires, and you can aim it okay. However, that range specifically there, which I was just at, I wanted to fire it there because there was it's like a gunnery range for tanks and the like, but unfortunately there's no vehicles, there's none, and on top of that, there's the targets don't really function well. I fired the RPG 22 into there's a series of wooden boards, like stacked, well, one after another. The idea being you can fire through one of them and penetrate the rest. But unfortunately, I fired, the rocket exploded, but there wasn't any damage effects or anything, so it's pointless. It's like you fired at just a wall or at the ground. Nothing happened at all. In fact, I'll show you. So over here, we're on a vehicle range, driving range, by the way, in case you can't tell. So there's this puddle, right? So if we fire, there's no splash effects, and there's no sound for it. There's no effects of me standing in the water. No rippling. I mean, it's rippling like that anyway, but not because I'm standing in it or anything. So I noticed going up that hill then, I didn't really feel a sense like in a change of speed that I'm travelling. Again, it was like I was running on a flat road, running up that hill. I wasn't running any slower or anything like that. And it looks like I can run indefinitely as well, it would appear to be. So it's interesting here, there's a different shade of grass. If you're into your different types of grass, and you know what this is specifically, then do comment down below. Again, see, interesting vehicle range, but no vehicles to drive in. I'm a bit puzzled as to why this demo has been released. It seems very out of the blue. There wasn't any recent posts in the past few months. I do quite like that sound when you shoot the concrete. So that is confusing. Yeah, I can't switch to any of my grenades or anything. I don't know why that's happened all of a sudden. It was working fine earlier. Anyway, I guess I'll have a look at this other game mode. This firing range, basic training, night training, USR, DDR. Okay, I think this is the same thing we just had a look at. Maybe this will have vehicles. But anyway, as I was saying, I don't know why this has been released when there was no build-up. You think they'd sort of get everyone excited. Oh look, there are vehicles. Okay, I stand corrected. Okay. Let's have a... Oh, I guess I'll show you the AK, of course. Where are my manners? And you have to press T. Remember, T is a friend. And let's do in full auto, which button is it? V, okay. Hold on. No. So you press Z to go from the normal sights to, I guess this is for CQB, work, aiming it like this. I don't know if this is an actual aiming technique in any, doctrines. Maybe you have some experience with this. Do let me know. But I've never seen this before. This aiming technique here. I guess it makes sense. You just sort of use the front post as your only reference, not the rear. I guess it makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to normal sights here. That looks well. You can also adjust the sight there. That works quite well, I think. Okay, well, I guess I'll have a quick look at the controls again, because they are listed. So let's have a look here. So I've got accelerate, brake, steer left, steer right, gear up, gear down. Is there a clutch we have to worry about? Maybe not. Maybe you can put it in automatic with this drive mode. I'm sure your American viewers can appreciate that if there's an automatic mode. Fire weapon, fire secondary. Just zero down. Okay. How do we get into the vehicle? Yes, they've appeared to have neglected to list a way to get into the vehicle. There's a score, apparently, so we can see how well we're shooting. Maybe. I'm pressing tab, but nothing's happening. Oh, okay. You just have to press F when you're close enough. So... yeah. I guess I'll just do it in M. Oh, well, there's a machine gun. And you press Shift to go into the gunner sight. Let me just check the controls. I wasn't really paying attention. Too busy talking, There was a lays option, middle mouse button. Okay. Commander sights is also a middle mouse button. So how does that work? I don't know. Okay. Exit vehicle is backspace, apparently. You can turn on the hazard lights as well. Interesting. Throttle up. So use a mouse wheel, maybe for the throttle. Start engine is I. Okay. Okay, and I am zeroing. There we go. Hit something. Wait, how do I get out of this? That's extremely loud. Wow. I'm going to have to turn that down in post. But that means I'm going to have to suffer with it. So there you go. I guess free luck. What was it? Nope. I've forgotten already. It was Alt, but it can't be. That's very, very, very loud, so maybe not going to drive anymore. Let's fire the main gun, shall we? That was pretty fun. Let's try and knock something down here. Oh, 9? No. How do I... Okay, I'm at the commander's machine gun. That's good. I don't know how I got into there. Okay. So to press into there, you press 2. Okay. How do I reload them? Let me just check. F1. Okay. No? Well, I'm pressing... I don't know. I'm pressing F1 and such, but nothing's happening. So, I've left the... Okay. I guess we'll... turn on the hazard lights. Which are not on. That's unfortunate. Okay. Let's try the... I forget what this vehicle's called. But anyway, I don't know. I know this one. No, I don't remember this one. Never mind. Let's see. Oh yeah, she revs good. There we go. Now, what's curious is it was mentioned there was a button for the handbrake, but I didn't have to press it, which is interesting. Let's have a look around the cabin here. That's cool. Driving is not bad, actually. I don't mind it, I must say. I think I could drive quite comfortably in this game. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay, well, let's try, let's skip the Humvee. Let's try something a bit more fun. So again, yes, I should have I should have specified earlier. That's me playing Gunner Heat PC. I'm trying to line up the main gun, and I'm pressing machine gun. But yeah, if you press the, oops, I've forgotten how you do it. Interesting wobble, which isn't present on Gunner Heat PC. So that's interesting. Quite a lot of shake there. I wonder who's doing it more accurately. This game, Gunner Heat PC, the shaking. Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's a bit high there. Whoop. Anyway, I'll get out of that because that's extremely loud. But yeah, so that's quite interesting take. It doesn't look fantastic, mind you. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's from a modern game, but I'm not going to be too harsh because at least this AK looks just fantastic. Oh wow, yeah, that looks good. It's not like super realistic, but that's not the point. The point is that it looks good. I'd say if it looked super realistic, it wouldn't be as charming. But this is amazing. It looks really nice. It's too bad the sun isn't out more, because it's certainly very dark in this game. I'm not sure what this wagon is. I'm unfamiliar with it. I've seen it before, I just don't know its name or anything about it. Let's try the old UAZ 469. In fact, let's take it little test drive. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, the steering is a bit handsy. Very enthusiastic. Oh wow. Okay. I'm struggling with this. Let's see what's up this road here. Now, I do have some slight apprehension as to whether to believe this is an actual, I don't know, pre-alpha, alpha, pre-beta, beta, or if it's God forgive me for saying this, but a vertical slice, which, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's like a mock-up of the game, which I'm not a fan of vertical slices at all. Some of you may remember the alleged gameplay from Watch Dogs. Before that was released, remember they were doing adverts and stuff using the actual gameplay. It looked amazing. And then, oh, okay, so you can steer with the mouse as well, like in Arma. I will say this is sort of reminiscent of Arma. I've only played Arma 2, and that was only a little bit. And I've played just a slice of Arma 3. I really want to like the Arma games, but just something about them, just the certain gameplay mechanics and how you interact with things, I just don't like. I just can't get myself into them. I really want to like them, but I just can't. However, this I do like, and I really hope I'm not going to be let down here. To discover this is some kind of vertical slice mock-up thing. When I was recording earlier, I didn't realise there were vehicles in this demo, so I was highly suspicious this was some extremely old version of the game from years ago, but it appears to be more modern. Although I can't really guarantee you that, I can't guarantee myself that. So who's to really say? Wait a second. Yes, you can. Brilliant. That's fantastic. Too bad you can't like roll out of the vehicle. That would be very fun. You know, you like catch your driver. You're in the passenger seat, and your driver catches a bullet to the head, and he pulls the steering wheel off to one side, and you start driving towards a cliff edge or something, and you just press backspace and you roll out of the car just before it hits the edge of the cliff. That would be very, very fun. But that's just as acceptable, I guess, if you really need to get out in a hurry. So yeah. Let me just try something here. That's great. You press Q to put it into neutral and then reverse. And you press E to get it into neutral, and then there's no animations for the gear sticks, but yeah. Go. So there's no damage models for the vehicles, it seems like. but I guess that's okay for a demo. For now, at least. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really say, because I don't quite understand why they've put this out. This, as I said, I mean, I keep coming back to it, but they didn't hype this up or anything. They didn't tease it, like, with a newsletter. I think they did mention that they were going to do something like this, this year, I think, but, again, they post so sporadically. Can I skid? No, not quite. Oh, maybe. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we are in a four-wheel drive vehicle, bear in mind, so we aren't going to lose control as easily. But yeah, that's good. I would say one of the big negatives comparing the UAZ 469 in this game as compared to in Gunner Heat PC is that in Gunner Heat PC there is some very cool music that plays as you drive around the test range, whereas in this there's only the noise of the engine, which is unfortunate. So I'm noticing we are probably going in a big loop, but it's a very, very big and wide loop, which is interesting. There's looks like some vehicles or something there. Is it just a bush? Are they just two bushes that are dark green? No, that's a BMP. Those are vehicles. That's a come on, I know this. T64? T62? I think it's a T62. Maybe a T72, like a very early one. I'm not the best with tanks. I would admit. Yeah, I don't know. So it looks like there's some other gunnery range. So if that's 500 presumably meters away, then there's something in this direction where we can shoot from. So it's a decently large map, it seems like. Let's actually see if there is a button to have a bit of map. That's interesting, there's an option for blind firing. Okay. I'm not seeing anything from maps. Yeah. And you'd think, like, an FPS would have a keybind for a map. But it does not. It has an option, a keybind, to chamber around into your gun, but it does not have an option to look at a map. So yeah, I'm pressing the drive mode button. Maybe I have to stop or get it out of gear, maybe. No, it doesn't do anything. I quite like the way you change gears and the steering as well. Again, the steering is like Arma 3, or any of the Arma games, I guess. You can use your WASD or just your mouse to point, which is quite nice. Though it does mean you can't really free look unless you press the, what am I pressing? Alt. So yeah, there's It's a double-edged sword there. Yeah, quite like it. Quite like the driving. Obviously, it's FPS, so let's I guess try it. Yeah. God, that looks really good, doesn't it? There's a Makarov. You press H to inspect your weapon, by the way. So there's a dedicated button for that. And then you can press R to reload. That's not what I meant to do. Was it J? Yes, J to have a look at the magazine. Quite an interesting animation for the Makarov there. There you go. That's quite standard for the course. And T to cock the gun. Oh. How did I go through 30 rounds? Almost full. Okay. Half full. Yeah, okay. Well, you've seen enough of that. So I guess the buttons to switch my weapons do work now. I don't know what that is on there. It looks like, yeah, they're Makarov rounds, or maybe AK rounds that have made their way into my F1 grenade. Very curious. Hold on. Yeah, what a trooper. Oh. Yeah, look at that. What a trooper. Just, you know, sneezed it off. Not even scratched paint anywhere. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'll show you the RPG-22 now. No. Oh, I don't have it anymore, do I? These are RDG5s. They've had 7.62 by 39 round, well, rounds melted into them for some reason. That is a bit strange. Yeah, gosh, I don't know, I quite like it. I will say, I guess one minor complaint is my monitor only does 60 Hz, and this is, the FPS is uncapped. You know, I'm blessed with having spent a lot of my, well, most of my wages during COVID in buying and upgrading this PC. So it's not the best, but it's reasonably good for 1440p. But if you're on a less suitable sort of more dated machine, lower end, you definitely want to have a cap. I mean, I still would quite like to have an FPS cap that you can set in the settings, but there's no option. I mean, you saw the settings for the graphics. Here, I'll remind you, there's very little you can change, unfortunately. I guess we do some off-roading here. There's a roundabout with only one road. Okay, here we go. Whoa, almost fell. Let me see if there's a third person view for the vehicle. Doesn't seem like there is. Oh, there is. How did I do that? C. Okay. So you press C. Okay. third person view, you just use the WAD keys, or A and D, to drive. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's fun. Whoop. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Looks like this. No, there isn't. There isn't any. Good God, that's so loud. There isn't any water effects at all. Yeah, it seemed to have slowed down for definite, but it felt a little bit too easy to climb up there in first gear, like that. I flipped it. I thought I would have to. I've put it on lower. You know, those 4x4. You know, one of these gear sticks. I don't know how these 4x4 gearboxes work, but I know you can put them in like a super low gear. Anyway, definitely flipped over, and I can't seem to. Oh, no. Okay. Maybe it's you can do that trick in the Battlefield games. No, not quite. It's not quite working. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, at least we can have a look underneath, which is always interesting when you see stuff like this, like the undercarriage, when you typically you wouldn't, and I don't see a point as to why someone took time and effort when building this game and adding assets. They decided to make this. Did they really make this, or did they buy this vehicle? Or did they get it commissioned or something? Is it just an asset they bought from somewhere? I'm not going to hate on developers for buying assets, provided it actually matches the aesthetic of the game, and that does. So if they did buy it, then fair enough, no hate. But it would be, I guess, interesting to know. Right, there's a running animation. I really like it. So there you go. I like how he sort of lifts it in like an arc. If you watch the muzzle, and it goes from running. See, it kind of moves up, moves over in like an arc shape. It's quite nice. Oh yeah. For some reason, I can still hear the engine really loudly, even though I'm miles away from it now. I guess I can never escape the engine of the US 469. I guess it will haunt me forever. So I don't know where I am. I don't know if where we spawned in is over there, maybe. I think so. I think I'm gonna respawn again somewhere else, and yeah, we'll try something else. I don't know what exactly. I guess I'll try and show the RPG 22 because it's very slick animation. So let's try that. Okay, and here we are. This time we're at the standard test range. So, which I thought was the only range, which is why I was thinking initially, oh, there's no vehicles. Or it turns out if you from the customize or the equipment and customization menu, you'll see there's an option for a test range. Or if you click on that, you spawn into this without any of the vehicles. So watch out for that. Okay, well here I've got the RPK47N. Not quite sure what the N is for. But here we have the night vision scope. Ah, yes. There we go. I don't know how you can hold your breath. I didn't see an option for that. Although to be fair, there's about 600 different bindings. And none of them. Let's try this blind fire. I want to try that. Left alt. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything for the thing I was looking for. I've already forgotten. Oh, for breathing, for holding your breath. Which I'd imagine they're just not adding it yet, because they're trying to figure out how many bindings there should be. Should there be one for inhaling, and then closing your mouth, and then not exhaling, and then opening your mouth, and then exhaling, and then resuming to a normal breathing pattern? Or do you like constantly have to press to inhale and exhale even when you're walking or standing still? I guess they just haven't figured out what system they're going to go for, so they've left the whole breathing mechanism out of the demo until they have it figured out. So I'll show you. Yeah, this railing is too high by several inches, unfortunately. And it looks like you can't really use the bipod either, which is unfortunate. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but is the FPS is really good. I haven't seen any notable dips. And well, here's my system. So yeah, my RX 6800. Completely forgot what graphics card I have. I was never going to say my last graphics card, which was a GTX 970, but something about that made me think, oh no, that's wrong, because that's, I don't know, it's about 10 years old, that card. Yeah, so let's try the blind fire. But it's just me looking around, so I don't understand. And again, you can press not C, but Z to change sights. So there you go. Okay, well, I'll show you the... Oh, here's the RGO N. There you go. You almost missed that one. That would have been a shame. That's quite fun. That's my bayonet. Now, unfortunately, I'm not seeing an option to attach your bayonet to your rifle yet. So I've got a good feeling they'll eventually add that option, considering what we've seen so far. I would actually hold my breath to that, but they haven't added that keybind yet, so I can't do that. Now, here we are. So this is the RPG 22. So I was trying to figure out, well, how the hell do you sight it? Which button do you press? Actually, you press the fire button to get the sights up. See? Very nice animation. And there you go. So this is, it says actually what it is. I did say, there you go. So that's 250 meters, that's 150 meters, and that's 50 meters, okay? So I'll show you the problem with the wood I was having. Very nice explosion. Unfortunately, you only get one rocket, and as soon as you drop it, it disappears. So yeah, it's just gone. Not even a mark of it on the ground. And there's these interesting. Let me get rid of this gun. There's some interesting targets here. I guess you can shoot at the concrete. And there's this one to simulate slanted armor, which is cool. And you get a real life, I think a T62 or 64, I guess there's no real difference, hull to shoot at, which is interesting, very interesting. And I mean, yes, there is explosive reactive armor on it, but I doubt it actually works, considering the explosions don't really damage anything. Well, what else is there to explore right now? I think that's about it, really. Yeah, so an interesting demo for sure, but honestly, most of the stuff we've seen has been like this for years, literally years. That includes the vehicles as well. I mean, yes, in more recent times they have been adding vehicles, but it's more or less the same amount of stuff they've had in the game for years, to some degree or another. So there's nothing new. We're not seeing anything new here. The only thing that has happened materially is that you are playing the game. Well, right now you're watching me playing the game. There's no new evidence of this custom game engine they were working on. Maybe they said years ago that they've parked it and they're working on just a generic game engine, but I'm pretty sure they've been adamant that they are using their own game engine. So we can assume these are more or less the capabilities of this engine. Did I collect some ammo from here? Is that what happened? Yes, it is. So you can collect ammo. That's good. Though there wasn't any key bindings or anything like that, unfortunately. There wasn't any noises either. Only notifications. No. And I can't switch back to any of my other weapons. Oh, I can now, okay. So now, yes, just like that. I'm pressing F, but maybe I don't even have to do that. I'm not sure. But yeah, gosh. It should self-destruct, but it hasn't. Never mind. Oh. Okay. All right. I guess I'll do that one last time. No, you do actually have to press F to reload. Okay. So yes, is this a vertical slice? Is this just the same game from years ago that Microprose, the publisher, has sort of forced the developer's hand to show something material to the public? I feel like it's one of those, because there's nothing really screaming to me that they are actually closer to creating something than what they were doing years ago. It's more or less the same thing we've been looking at for years, unfortunately. I mean, that's just how circumstances have played out in terms of the developers' lives. But yeah, so is this... I can't really say this is a sign that anything is going to, progress from here in any sort of meaningful way. It just seems like this is a thing that happened. This is a new newsletter update. Oh, this is the demo of the game. And then what happens in 8 months when there's another, or in like 2 years when there's another newsletter update? I think that's going to be the next thing. This is going to be it for a while. Maybe they'll update it with something, but I don't think we are now going from a crawl to a walk or to a run or a sprint. I think there's no sign of that. Let's not be too blindly optimistic. Let's be reserved in our expectations, and let's fire this rocket into the sky and watch it explode. Okay, I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, obviously the sound design isn't quite there. And we can just about hear the guy run. And he runs differently on the concrete than he does on the ground. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's nice to finally actually play this stuff. But that's all we're doing really, is there's nothing more strong than that, than playing with stuff that has been in existence for years. Okay, I know I keep coming back to this, but we have to remind ourselves, none of this is new. None of this could have been from a hard drive that someone's picked up off the ground, or there's been, had dust on it and someone's dusted it off and uploaded it to Steam. Because I mean, we're not seeing anything new. Once again, we're not seeing anything new. We're not heard anything new. They've put this out with any further details or explanation. Completely, almost randomly. I think it is almost random. I think Microprose has probably forced them to publish this for contractual reasons. They probably had a deadline to do this. So yeah, can't really hate them for it. Can't really hate Microprose for doing it if that's what they did. But yeah, I definitely would have liked to have seen something more. And maybe we will in the coming days. I tell you what though, this is certainly a long video, so I will now go ahead and upload this. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoy it when you go to play. That's interesting, by the way. I've just noticed. So I'm not pressing any buttons. I'm just holding the grenade in my hand without pressing any buttons. I'm not cooking it or anything. So I can take my time to aim. That's nice. Okay, alright. Bye bye.